Arkansas has a head coach. That's the good news. It may end right there. Ryan Silverfield, the Memphis head coach, has taken the Arkansas job. That is official as of today. Now, it is my opinion that this was a cluster of a search. It was tough, though, because Arkansas was not in the pole position. So they didn't have the luxury of LSU, where as soon as they walk in the room, everyone shuts up and waits for them to make their move so that then they can make their move. That was not Arkansas. Arkansas was over in the on-deck circle, and they had to wait. And, I mean, they thought they had Alex Golish, and then Golish said no, and he took the Auburn job. And I really stung them because I think they thought they had him locked up. But the Arkansas search, if it taught us one thing, it taught us that never say it's done until it's done. Well, it's done now. Ryan Silverfield is the head coach here. I think you have to be thankful that someone was willing to take the job. I'm not saying that sarcastically. I really do mean that the desirability of this job was really called into question during this search. There are a couple of reasons for that. I'll talk about them in just a second. Thankful, though, is not how I would describe Arkansas fans right now. I told you, you can be thankful. You don't have to be thankful. There was a small but very spirited protest there in the greater Fayetteville area today. I'm told it was mostly peaceful. Some of the participants DM'd us, mostly peaceful protest. But that says it all. That says it all. I don't really know why you have to hide your identity by putting a paper bag over your head, because everyone feels the same way. It says it on that poster board there, God Save Arkansas. And that's really your only hope right now. God has to intervene, busy though he may be, and say, I'm going to bless Arkansas. And boy, is it needed. It's needed really, really bad. I hate it for them. This is an extremely passionate, extremely engaged fan base. I've always loved going up there. It's hard to go up there right now to go to a game because we try and go to the biggest games in the country, and they haven't been in that in quite a while. But if you give Arkansas a winner, they'll really be all in. The default position here for me is that I'm very skeptical this is going to work out. Not because I don't believe in Ryan Silverfield per se. This is nothing against him. I like Mike Norvell at Florida State. Ironically, also came from Memphis. Like, I've got nothing against Mike Norvell, but it hasn't really been working out for him there. I'm not doing that thing where I'm saying, if you get a guy from Memphis, it's not going to work. It just so happens both of these guys are from Memphis. But Ryan Silverfield, where's he going? If he's going to a place that's all in, everything's lined up, he just has to knock over the first domino. Well, then it just comes down to whether he's a good enough football coach. At Arkansas, it's regrettably, unfortunately, about a lot more than just that right now. So you've got the desirability of the hire. How good is he? And the reality was you were never going to get what you deemed to be a Grand Slam hire, because if there was a Grand Slam out there, one of several other better openings would have taken him. Hey, guys, do me one favor. Check and see if you're subscribed to the channel. If you are, great. If you're not, it's that easy. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't sign you up for anything. It just helps us do the show this way forever. All right, back to the clip. So you had to roll the dice a little bit, and they did. And so the desirability was probably always going to be in a state of uncertainty. But the second part, the commitment level of the program, that's what everyone was talking about behind the scenes. Like, I've never been up for the Arkansas job, probably never will. I know people who have been, and that was the talk. And the talk is, it was put this way by someone who would know. If you got to say the word if 3 or 4 times when it comes to how you win at Arkansas or anywhere else, it's probably not a great place to be right now. So that's a good news, bad news. The good news is the ifs exist, which means the possibility is there. If the ifs are met in the affirmative, that you can be a big winner. Here's what that sounds like. If the proper resources are in place, and if you get the Tysons and the J.B. Hunts and the Walmarts of the world on board, therefore, if we can open that recruiting pipeline to Dallas, then we can win. Well, here's the problem with that. If I go there as the head coach, I don't control what the big mega donor bases up there do with their money. I can try to convince them what to do with their money, but it doesn't matter how many brands you have to flex in your backyard. If they're not able to be leveraged by you, it doesn't really matter. It just so happens there's big industry in your backyard. Like, who cares if they're not all in on Arkansas football? That's what I feel about the Ryan Silverfield hire. I would have felt that way about Golish if he went up there. I'd feel that way about anyone. I'd love to be proven wrong on that. But, man, at Utah, Georgia, LSU, Missouri, Tennessee, at Auburn, at Texas, at A&M, at Vandy. They play all those games next year, by the way. I should have told you. I was reading Arkansas's 2026 schedule. They go to Utah in out-of-conference play. And you got Georgia, LSU, Missouri, Tennessee, Auburn, Texas, A&M, and Vandy in conference play. I wish him luck. I have never met Ryan Silverfield. I've met a lot of people at Arkansas. I know how bad they want a winner. I hope everyone around there needs to win. I hope you need to win because you are very, very much behind the eight ball. And here's the trick that you have to get past. When you're trying to convince big money donors, big corporations to contribute to your overall NIL efforts, but they're not really wise to college football, the new world of college football. Here's the catch-22. Even if you get them to spend money, that's not the end of the line. That's not the win. The win is to get them to keep spending money or keep investing money. But here's the problem. When they spend it the first time and you don't immediately win, they ask, well, we're paying more money. Why aren't we winning more? Well, the dirty secret, simple math actually, but it's tough to tell a donor this, is you're not paying me $5 million to win more games. Your $5 million and everyone else's money collectively just went to match everyone else who's also raising that money. We got to pay a baseline just to remain competitive. But the problem is back in the day, you didn't have to pay that much money to win. So everyone thinks, well, since I'm paying more now than I used to, we should be winning more now than we used to. That's the challenge right there. I don't care if it's an individual donor or a corporation. These are businesses and business people, and they want return on investment. And there's a dynamic in place right now that, like, you got to explain to them that's not the way it works, per se, without saying that's not the way it works, because then they just take their money and go elsewhere. As of tomorrow, it'll be December. This year, we're going to have Christmas in December, I'm told. It'll be the 25th. That's right, Jesse? Yeah, Christmas is going to be on the 25th this year. And leading up to that, you have about 3 or so weeks to hit the Pate State store and get loaded up on the 'Tis the Season collection. All the Christmas merch is over there. 'Tis the season to be chuggy. I saw one of those in person last night at Jordan-Hare Stadium. The Merry Christmas, You Filthy Casual. It aggravates me a little bit that was not my design, but it is flying off the shelves, so all's well that ends well. PateStampMaterial.com is where you can get it. Now, I know a lot of you missed the Black Friday sale. Actually, judging by our numbers, most of you didn't miss it. If you did, I have it on good authority that tomorrow is Cyber Monday. So I have breaking news. This is worth a pop of a paper. If you feel like saving 25% off anything in the entire store, that can happen to you starting right now, like right this second. The team is hitting go on this through tomorrow. So about the next, 36 hours or so, maybe a little bit less than that, Cyber Monday, 25% off store-wide. We just slash it. Bradley's revenue share won't be quite as big, but we're slashing it. There you go.